Right, so John, welcome to the studio.
Hi, thanks.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
Absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So, John, we want to hear a little bit more about this project that you were doing with Commercial Break. Can you tell us how you got involved?
Well, I got involved with Strange Enough through the job centre. I know a lot of people have had like bad experience with the job centre.
Yeah.
But it was actually pretty good for me. After weeks of jobs I didn't want to do, I told my advisor that I want to do something creative, and she threw this up. I just went for it, yeah. So
amazing.
So what was the application process like? What did you have to do?
It's pretty strange, to be honest. It wasn't anything like I was used to, which is a good thing, because a lot of the application process nowadays, it's like, if your CV's not good enough, that's it.
Yeah.
But with this, they sort of interview you through the application, so they test your creative knowledge, and like they asked me to like draw something that no one's ever seen before.
Really?
Which is pretty crazy.
And what did you draw?
One of the questions was try and sell describe or try and sell me a blue tomato. So I drew a blue tomato, like, as my thing that no one's ever seen before, so I sort of tied it together, which is quite cool, I think. But so yeah. But it's really strange with the application, but it was really cool.
And was it kind of competitive? Did you have to wait for a few weeks to hear feedback? And
I can't quite remember how long I waited, but I think it was pretty. I don't know. I guess James, the guy who ran it, would know how competitive it was. I wasn't too sure, but I would like to say hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. And was there like a group of you in the end that worked on the project together?
Yeah, I think there's about 5 of us that got put together from all different sort of. It was all quite different in our own way, which is cool. But we all had the sort of same creative sort of. Our own creative sort of, we brought something different to the table, which is cool.
So what did you bring?
That's a big question.
That's like your interview question.
I guess I didn't bring anything, because everyone had I guess I have some knowledge in gaming. I used to be quite a big gamer, like pro gamer, so
cool.
I have that background, so I guess I brought that, yeah.
Cool. And what kind of stuff then did you get to work on in the agency?
Well, like 2 weeks in, we got given a brief. I didn't really know what a brief was, but it was with Beats by Dre, like the headphone company.
Yeah.
I just thought we was helping them out. I didn't quite know what they actually gave us a brief to work on. I didn't know. I just sort of thought we'd be helping them out, But we actually went away and come up with ideas for a campaign for them. Beats by Dre was a massive client, so that was
cool.
Yeah. And they walked in and gave us some free products as well, which is cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, how do they want us to be their creative agency? And
why is it? It's just because they want kind of a young voice,
I think
is it?
With advertising and creative industry, they want fresh ideas, and this agency's perfect for that. Fresh young people and different ideas. So I think that's why they came to us.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how long did the whole thing run for, the agency?
It was only about 6 to 8 weeks, which wasn't very long. But I mean, we learned so much within that time. It flew by, really did.
Excellent, cool. Okay, well, John, this song is especially for you, and I have a confession to make, actually. Earlier when I was writing up the notes and stuff, I kept writing your name everywhere as John Traitor.
Thanks.
Instead of John Trainer.
No, some people
so you've
call
got
me
that nickname.
yeah.
Jamie and I'd be like, the Traitor's coming in. We've got the
cool.
Traitor in the studio. Anyway, we're going to play this song, and we'll be back with more conversation from John after this.
This is Jack Breach.
Jack. Let's Jack. Jack. Let's Jack. Let's.
So we've got John Trainer in the studio, and he's talking about
John Traitor.
John
Traitor, yeah.
That's how we're changing your name now, right?
Yeah.
By default. So John, I have a question for you, and I want to know. So before you actually started this, where did you see yourself your career going?
I always sort of, weirdly enough, thought I'd be okay career-wise. Even though I didn't do great at school, I was a bit annoying at school, and I didn't do great in terms of qualifications. But I sort of held my sort of time and didn't jump at the first thing that came along, which was working a falafel stand was thrown up at job centre. They offered me that, and I was just I didn't really want to do that. That's not really where I saw my career going. So I sort of
the falafels are tasty.
Yeah, they're good, but I mean I didn't want to go home smelling of falafel, and it wasn't really what I wanted. So I sort of held my time and waited it out a little bit, and then once this came along, I was like I always knew I'd but it was without this I don't know what I'd be doing, to be honest.
What has happened for you career-wise since being with the Commercial Break?
So leaving Commercial Break, I was offered 2 placements at Saatchi & Saatchi, which are like a really big advertising agency, and Beats by Dre. So at that choice, I didn't want to let no one down, so I was like dreading saying yes or no to someone, which isn't a bad choice to make. I didn't mind being in that position, but in the end, Beats were really cool. They just said, go and work at Saatchi for a bit, and then when you're finished, come here. So I've had the chance to work at both. So
sweet, that's good. Tell me, I want to know, who are your biggest inspirations?
You're gonna make me sound like Ricky Gervais here. I don't know. To be honest,
it's hard to choose.
It's a hard question.
Like, whose kind of job would you admire?
Okay. I just admire anyone that does what they love for a living as a job. Like, for example, footballer, that's just an amazing job. Or even guys that like music artists and stuff. Just someone that takes their passion and makes it into their job, goes to work, and it's not the same thing every day, you know. It's like, it's a different story every day, yeah.
And what's it like working in somewhere like Beats? Is that like a creative office? Is it different from a normal, what you expected?
To be honest, it was quite, like, there was such a small team for the whole of Europe, and you know, the whole of Europe, there was about 5 people that ran the whole of the marketing side of Europe. So it was pretty manic, and because I was the intern, I had to do all the running around, the majority of it. So
they have you making tea?
Luckily, no, they made me like go shopping for like celebrities that were coming in.
Cool.
It sounds cool, but it's quite stressful.
Oh,
you know,
is it?
like, yeah, but it was really cool. I learned quite a lot.
When you said you had to go shopping for celebrities that came in, what did you have to buy?
You know the rugby player Owen Farrell? He came in for a video shoot, and I had to go and buy him like a tracksuit and like clothes. And
Tracksuit, brilliant.
yeah, it was
That's epic.
it was quite simple. I couldn't really get that wrong. You know, grey tracksuit, so that was quite cool.
And what other celebrities did you meet in there?
Dr.
Dre?
No, I wish. Yeah, no.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I kept looking at the door, waiting for him to walk in. At one point, he never came in. So,
Ah.
but yeah, like rap star gigs came in. Hugo Monnier, the rugby player, came in. A lot of rugby players came in actually.
Really?
So
I would have loved that job.
yeah, it was pretty cool. Like every time I looked over my shoulder, someone walked in. That was pretty cool. And I'd sit up straight and try and act cool. Like I didn't care, but I did. So yeah,
That's really exciting.
Do you have any, like, you know, stories that you could tell us that who was awkward? Was there anyone that came in that was really awkward or a bit naughty?
Well, I have an awkward story. But when I went in for my interview for Beats,
Yeah.
I went into the conference room, and as I came out, the lady interviewing me called Lauren said to me, "Do you like gigs?"
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of went, "Yeah, he's okay. I liked him when I was younger."
Yeah.
And he was right there.
Oh.
I like right there, and I had to go and shake his hand and say hello. But I don't know if he heard me, so hopefully he didn't. But
That is brilliant. Isn't it?
yeah.
And John, what are you up to now? Where are you working at the moment?
Right now, I've basically counting down to September. I've basically been offered a scholarship at an ad school in Brixton called the
Wow.
FCA.
Good for you.
So I'm waiting for September now. I'm hopefully going to find another placement or a job until then to get me, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, until then.
The Fluffle band.
Yeah, you never know. I could go back to Job Centre and do that. That could be great. Yeah.
John, surely every other job now that you get in is going to pale in comparison to where you were meeting all these celebrities. And
I know. Yeah, maybe I should just not work again.
No.
No.
That's the wrong answer.
No. Oh, okay. But yeah, I think I'll probably go to another agency for a bit and get some more experience under my belt. If not, I'll probably just get, you know, a job until my course starts in September.
Cool. So Commercial Break is open again. They're taking applications for the
Yeah.
pop-up agency this year. What kind of advice would you have for someone who's applying?
Firstly, definitely apply if you want to be creative, or if you feel like you're creative. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, I want to go into advertising. As long as you're creative or you have something as your own, so maybe you might be a music artist or, you know, a photographer or anything like that. You know, there's room for you in that industry. And upon applying, you should always just try and stand out in your own way. You know, prove to James and Susie, the people that run the program, that you're different and you can bring something different to the program.
Cool, that's really inspiring. Well, John Trainer, not a traitor, as we have learned. This song you have requested, do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, this is Second City, I Want to Feel.
Cool. Thanks, John.